All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. It is that time of the week, folks, my weekly picks in the world of the National Football League, and we have now turned the corner to the postseason. It's wild card weekend in the National Football League. And of course, that brings with it six exciting matchups as the field of contenders for the Super Bowl championship will be narrowed down from 14 to 8 by the end of Monday night. We've got a lot of playoff, regular season rematches, rather, here in round number one of the postseason. Okay, four to be exact. So with that all said and when that's all said and done, excuse me, who has what it takes to survive the wild card weekend and get to the divisional round in the NFL? Want to start off tomorrow afternoon as you're going to have the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to take on the champions of the AFC South in the Houston Texans. Now the Texans come into this contest as 3-point underdogs at home. They have kind of flown under the radar, if you will, this season. Hasn't been the biggest season for second year quarterback CJ Stroud. Some people are like, well, has he regressed? Is it a sophomore slump? No, people have more game tape on him, but that doesn't mean that Stroud has not had a good season. On the flip side, for the Chargers, it's been a tremendous turnaround in year number one under head coach Jim Harbaugh. This team is more physical. Quarterback Justin Herbert is more efficient, and they are getting after you defensively. The Lightning Bolts are 3-point favorites on the road. I'm going to take them by a touchdown, and I'm going to say the Chargers over the Texans by the score of 27-20. Now, under the category of there's simply no love lost, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Charm City to take on the Baltimore Ravens in this rubber match. And you think about it, a black and blue rivalry right here. Anytime the Steelers and Ravens get together, it's always a physical matchup. Okay. These two teams have met multiple times in the postseason before. This, I do believe, is going to be the first time that the Ravens are hosting the Steelers in the postseason. Pittsburgh won the first meeting this season in Steel City. The Ravens got their revenge a couple of weeks ago at home. And of course, the Steelers are limping into the postseason. They have lost their last four games, and their offense is sputtering at best. While the Ravens, on the flip side, they're clicking on all cylinders. They're playing better defensive football. And then, of course, that dynamic duo in the backfield. I'm talking about Lamar Jackson at quarterback and Derrick Henry at running back. The bottom line is you still got two good defenses out there. Clearly, even without wide receiver Zay Flowers, I give the edge offensively to Baltimore. And as good as Pittsburgh's defense is, they can't keep holding up if their offense is not going to score any points. Pittsburgh has picked the wrong time to go into a slump, and I guarantee you Baltimore is not going to feel sorry for them. The Ravens are favored by 9.5. I'm going to take Baltimore by 11 at home, 27-16. Now, moving ahead to Sunday, you've got the Buffalo Bills, the champions of the AFC East, hosting the Denver Broncos. And of course, Denver comes into this contest with plenty of confidence as their rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, is going to look to help pull off the playoff upset. Sean Payton, in year number two as the head coach in Denver, has turned things around, and he's taking on a Buffalo team that some people feel maybe this is their year because the Bills' offense has been poetry in motion at times, especially with quarterback Josh Allen doing his thing. And there are some people who feel that he's going to be the league's MVP this year. Now, I know that Denver is a heavy underdog in this game. They're underdogs by 8.5 at the moment. But I'll tell you like this. For Buffalo to go out there and hold serve at home, they are going to have to pack a lunch. These Broncos are game. They're young. They're hungry, and Sean Payton is building something in Denver. However, I'm going to give the slightest of slight edges in this one to the Bills at home, 23-20. Now, another regular season rematch. Both of these teams met in week one in Brazil. And now somebody's season is coming to an end Sunday afternoon. You got the Green Bay Packers traveling to take on the NFC East champs in the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Packers, unfortunately, they're one of those teams, they're limping into the postseason. They lost their last game of the regular season last Sunday at home to the Chicago Bears. They also lost one of their biggest deep threats in wide receiver Christian Watson as he suffered a torn ACL. The Packers offense at times simply does not have the rhythm. And I think for Green Bay to go out there and pull off the upset, they're 5.5 dogs in this one, 5.5 point dogs in this one. Jordan Love has got to come out balling, and he's got to get into a rhythm early against this Eagles defense, and he's got to try to find a way to take that Eagles crowd out of the game. Now, the Eagles are getting quarterback Jalen Hurts back. He's been out the last couple of games. He was in the concussion protocol. You also have a rested Saquon Barkley, who is just making his second playoff appearance. And I guarantee you, Saquon wants to ball out. For Philadelphia, for me, I think this team is on a mission. They're on a mission to get back to the Super Bowl and, of course, this time win it. And I don't think the Green Bay slows the Eagles down on Sunday, as I'm going to take the Eagles at home by the score of 30-23. Now, the nightcap on Sunday, another regular season matchup, a rematch rather, as you have the Washington Commanders traveling to take on the champs of the NFC South. And I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These two teams met in week number one at the same location, and this cover two gave Commanders rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels fits in his rookie debut. I'll tell you like this Washington Commanders team, they're fun, they're loose, and they're playing with house money. And they're going up against a veteran Bucks team that simply knows how to go out there and get it done. I think the best thing for Washington to do, let Jayden Daniels be aggressive, but it's going to be tough going up against this Bucks cover two. On the flip side, there's the good, there's the bad, and then there's Baker Mayfield. When he's in a rhythm, you can't stop him. But sometimes he can get a little, too loose with the football, if you will, as far as turning the football over. Of course, the Bucks Commanders game is on the undercard. Why? Because the Commanders are expecting to have Marshawn Lattimore back in that secondary. And of course, dating back to his time with the Saints, there is simply no love lost between he and one Mike Evans. Tampa is favored by 3 points in this one. The over-under is 50.5. I'm going to take the over in this one. I'm going to take the Bucks to get past Washington by the score of 30-27. And then finally, on Monday night to cap off this wild card weekend, you've got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Los Angeles Rams. And of course, unfortunately, due to the tragic fires out there in Southern California, this game has been moved from Inglewood to Glendale, Arizona. You look at the Vikings, they come into this game as a 3-point favorite over LA. These two teams did meet in the regular season at SoFi, and it was a Rams who won a close contest. One big reason why the Rams won that contest, their pass rush was able to frustrate Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold. And I think Sam Darnold, after the way that this offense for Minnesota looked in the regular season finale against the Lions, they want to try to find a way to get back on track. And I think the best way for the Vikings to do that, they've got to get Justin Jefferson involved early. And of course, when you get JJ involved, it sets the tone not only for this Minnesota offense, but this team. Very quietly, the Rams have a very good team this year for head coach Sean McVay. Veteran quarterback Matthew Stafford can still get it done. Two dynamic receivers in Puka Nacua and, of course, Cooper Kupp. And the Rams just simply find a way to come after you. Like I said, so much going on for both of these teams to try to focus on football, but unfortunately they have to. I'll tell you like this. The Vikings come into this game as a 3-point favorite. I'm going to take Minnesota by 4, and I'm going to say the Vikings 27, the Rams 23. But folks, those are my picks for Wild Card Weekend in this National Football League season. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, and just before I just sign off, Pachangas, what's going on, my man? I know you're a football junkie. This is why I wanted to try to squeeze this in just prior to the playoff game that's about to kick off, or I think it just is kicking off tonight between Ohio State and Texas. But nonetheless, wanted to talk a little NFL. I love this weekend. Basically, we're segueing from college to the pros. The college guys had last night, they've got tonight. And then, of course, the next 3 nights are all about the big boys in the NFL before we come back to next weekend. But nonetheless, I am signing off, and I'm saying thanks once again for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.